Welcome to Spotlight Television and welcome to our Innovators on the Move show, the unique broadcast series that brings you together with some of the most amazing, important, and interesting individuals from the worlds of business, industry, travel, art, and entertainment, from company CEOs to university presidents to the technical wizards behind the scenes who create the magic that make their company's products and services so special. This is your opportunity to hear firsthand the fascinating stories of how it all happened from those who actually made it possible. Hospitality. It's not just someone being nice to you. It's an industry when combined with food and drink generates over $600 billion a year. You blend in hotels and conference centers, now you've surpassed $1 trillion a year. In 2016 alone, the exhibition, conference, and meeting industry generated over $29 billion in revenue, according to Statista. One such company, the FLIK Hospitality Group, is one of the leading hospitality providers of conference venues and property management in North America. I recently had the opportunity to sit down with Senior Vice President of Hotels and Conference Centers for FLIK, Neil Gardner. Take a look. Neil, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Damien. Pleasure.
So here we are, beautiful New York City, Times Square. We see the ball right there. Tell me about this space.
Yeah, not bad digs, huh?
Yeah, not bad at all.
So this is one of our, we service a multimedia client here, right in the heart of Times Square, New York City. And this space is for meetings, casual or formal, or just for employees to come up here, take a phone call, and re-energize.
Yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful space. And you have more than one space in New York City.
We do. We have several locations, midtown, uptown, downtown, and we operate with the financial community, with media, with law firms, or pharmaceutical firms. There's a number of clients that we operate here. We have a very big presence here from a conferencing perspective in New York City, yeah.
All right, so let's start at the very beginning. FLIK.
Right.
Somewhat of an odd name, FLIK.
Right.
Well, I want to know, does it have any odd meaning?
Well, it's not really odd. Actually, it's the last name of the founder of the company, Rudy FLIK. Rudy is a trained executive chef who immigrated from Europe, Germany actually, back in the early 60s, met his wife Julie. And she was a graduate of the Cornell Hotel School. And they entered into the industry at a time when the industry really didn't do a great job of servicing the education and corporate segments of the market. You know, Rudy introduced many of the principles years ahead of its time, really ahead of the rest of the pack, such as cooking from scratch and batch cooking, authentic ingredients, always fresh. You know, Chef Rudy took time with students and his guests to incorporate the feedback they brought into the business model. You know, looking back now, Rudy was a visionary. He's an innovator, and he really laid the foundation from these founding principles and from which we operate today, with quality at the center of everything we do.
So FLIK is part of a bigger organization. So describe the relationship.
Yeah, we are. We're actually part of Compass Group. It's a UK publicly traded company. We publicly trade on the FTSE in the UK. Compass currently operates in more than 50 countries with over 500,000 food and hospitality professionals worldwide, revenues exceeding or a little bit north of 25 billion, making us one of the largest hospitality companies in the world.
So let's talk about what markets you serve.
So we have a diverse business base with specific sectors that are focused on their speciality, whether it's corporate dining or hospitality services. We touch every market sector, such or most notably the legal community, financial and banking, pharmaceutical communities, and we also operate with some of the most prestigious airport lounges in North America.
All right, so let's tell the audience a little bit about the conference center and hotel division that you run.
Now, FLIK is a sector within Compass Group that specializes in all services associated with conference centers and hotels, from concept and design to the operation and execution and all that goes with it. Now, simply put, we can provide a turnkey solution to manage a variety of properties for our clients. We currently have a presence coast to coast and operate in 27 states. Our portfolio comprises of full-service conference centers and hotels, day centers, both internally and externally marketed, and a full suite of conference services that we provide to all our corporate clients. So 2 of these offerings operate under their own brand due to the specialized nature of their service.
Okay, so let's talk about one of those offerings, and that's Rapport. Tell me a little bit about Rapport, a little bit about the brand.
Rapport is a specialist brand providing a high level of reception and concierge service to premier clients in the UK, Europe, and here in the US. I had the opportunity, the privilege of traveling back to the UK in 2013 to meet with Greg Mace, the founder of Rapport. Greg spent over a year, 2012, 2013, developing the brand. And when I saw it, I was so impressed. The intuitive service, the great level of guest experience. So we wanted to bring it here to the United States. So in the fall of 2015, we successfully launched just up the road here, just off of Central Park. We launched the brand, and it's quickly grown into one of the most important areas of the business that I manage. It's really about ensuring our clients and the guests enjoy remarkable service experience. It's achieved through intuitive service by having our ambassadors anticipate our guests' needs even before they do. It really creates a wow factor.
So how has rapport really set FLIK apart?
Yeah, that's a good question. Rapport provides an elevated level of hospitality and guest service. And I think that probably the best way to put this is think of a 5-star hotel and the expert service and experience, the interaction that you would receive when you arrive in a lobby or say at a front desk. Now ask yourself, why wouldn't that same interaction be any different when you arrive in the lobby or front desk at a headquarters of a major company? Well, we think it should. And that first impression is really important, and it really sets the tone for the appointment or the meeting the guest is attending. That's really what we're trying to achieve, and that's what our clients are starting to recognize.
That's great. So let's talk about what kind of clients you provide this service to.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, so I think the first thing is, there's a core, a standard, very high-level standard as far as the execution, but we really do customize the solution that is unique to our clients' culture and their brand. We're really the hospitality backdrop to their business function. Our services are provided to a variety of selective clients, including industries such as the financial, legal, multimedia, and technology firms.
All right, that's great. So let's talk about your other specialized offering, which is waveguide. And I know that's kind of where your AV and your IT and how it kind of comes together. So FLIK has recently been expanding into new service offerings. So what does waveguide now bring to FLIK?
Yeah. So this is also very exciting. FLIK's been providing AV operational services for over 15 years for our clients across our corporate and educational portfolios. It's just a natural adjunct of the meeting itself. You need great AV, great technology. What waveguide adds to our service offering are the following. I mean, they bring early technology in master planning and design services that precede even the building being occupied by 2 or 3 years. With waveguide, we now offer a full suite of services from the earliest planning and budgeting through infrastructure and system design. Take that through to the bid and construction process, and then to final commissioning and training, which really leads us right into operations, that managed services piece, which we were doing before. So they give us a complete offering and a complete service offering for our clients. waveguide, I should also mention, also provides software automation services to make the systems consistent and reliable across a client's enterprise. That's key. Think about it. A meeting in Hong Kong versus a meeting taking place and simultaneously taking place in, say, London, or even right here in New York City, connecting the three together. And also making sure that user has the same experience in those spaces as they move or they travel around the country or around the globe.
So let's talk about some of the trends you're seeing. What are the trends that you're seeing with your customers in the workplace and meeting environments that are driving your business?
Yeah, so we're forever changing. As we all are experiencing every day, technology, and more specifically mobile technology, is changing the very nature of work. Place is becoming less important than connectivity. If you have the tools and the infrastructure to allow yourself to work from anywhere, then the ability to make decisions quickly with all the right parties at the table is really greatly enhanced. Don't get me wrong, meeting face to face, always going to be very, very important, press in the flesh. But the ability to just seamlessly meld both physical and virtual is the best of both worlds. And that takes design expertise, takes great acoustics, and user-friendly software and systems that just work. waveguide provides that life cycle of services, and we can deliver that outcome.
All right, so let's talk about growth and success. What kind of businesses, what type of businesses are you looking to grow with?
A lot of opportunity in the space that we operate, but I think two major areas we see growth are both residential, but conference centers and hotels, and I think managing corporate conference centers and conference services. So let me take them one at a time. Residential conference centers and hotels, especially when we're affiliated with college campuses, it's really been our sweet spot. Some of the examples of this would be University of Texas down in Austin, where we manage a 300-bed hotel and conference center and all that goes with that. Gallaudet University in Washington, D.C., or say Thunderbird School of Global Management, to name a few. But that being said, I should also qualify, we do operate a number of corporate residential locations as well. And then with regards to managing corporate conference centers, non-residential and conference-related services, services such as reception, concierge, the AVIT, space management, critical, I think, when managing a corporate space, making sure you're putting the right meeting into the right space at the right time to make sure it's effective, starts, finishes on time. Office hoteling, another big area right now of growth for us. The mobile workforce, people not having assigned workspaces, but coming in and working at an a la carte space. We manage that. We manage the readiness of the space, the concierge services that are needed around that space to make sure that when an associate or an employee arrives at work, they can be productive immediately, right from the word go. That's the value of engaging FLIK, whose singular focus, I think, is really the expertise as it sits around these services. And as previously mentioned, this coupled with the recent introduction of Rapport, the high-end reception and concierge service, and Waveguide with their full suite of audio-visual solutions really provides our customers with focused expertise at the highest level.
All right, so sticking with the idea of growth and the growth of FLIK, your conference center and hotel division, how do you meet the need for what is definitely going to be additional personnel, top performers, things like that?
That's a great point. People are at the core of everything we do, and we work in an industry where securing top talent can be challenging. And I should also say retaining top talent can also be just as difficult. Our overall strategy falls into 3 buckets. I think recruiting top talent, developing top talent, and then obviously retaining top talent.
Okay, so let's take all 3 of them. Let's talk about recruiting and that approach first.
So I think the first things first is a dedicated recruiting team. So we have dedicated recruiters focused specifically on our brand and the needs of them on all multiple levels, from frontline associates, college grads, interns, mid-level management, and even executive recruiting. And so the recruiters can focus on sourcing the highest level of quality of the talent that we have out there in the field. We're utilizing technology and innovation to help support them. Some of those solutions we're using to touch on, and I was attending a forum on this with our recruiting teams recently. The use of video interviewing, automated solutions like embedded job maps on social sites to allow candidates to visualize career paths and assist them with making informed decisions before they even apply for the job. Something really cool I saw recently in the educational setting was the use of virtual reality. So how about going to an interview and being able to put on a pair of 3D glasses and literally give that student or that applicant a day in the life of that career that they're looking to go into, a futuristic overview of a specific role or position. Pretty cool stuff. And then digital networks, social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, communicating to the employees the value proposition of the position. And we're also actually starting to play around with AI, artificial intelligence, to augment our process for identifying candidates. All of this plus great focus on internal promotion. We've got great platforms with a very robust LMS tool to make sure we identify training needs and development, and make sure when associates are ready for the next step. Obviously, employee referral programs, awarding associates for referring talent into the organization, again, at all levels. And strong focus on the affinity groups like veterans, women's leadership, etc. And then last but by no means least, Compass is a big organization. We're one sector within that organization. There's a lot of companies there. These zone meetings, and again, the country is split up into 6 zones, come together once a year. Each one zone comes together once a year. And it's a great opportunity to share best practices, meet your peers, see what's going on in different lines of business. It's also a great way to recruit.
So now you get great employees. Now let's talk about actually keeping them and retention. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so really at its basic level, listen, right? Listen to your associates. So really what encompasses that would be our annual engagement surveys. In fact, we're just coming off of an annual engagement survey for this year, 2017. Pleased to say our engagement remains high at over 80% with our associates. More to the point though, the insights from that survey, the voice of the customer, for want of a better word, is really where we get the key information which we can develop action plans at both the corporate level, the regional level, and more importantly, right there at the property level, so we can continue to improve our performance. I think another area from a retention standpoint is recognition. You can never overdo recognition. And recently, back a couple of weeks ago, we had an annual event where we recognized service for over 180 employees, associates of ours, who collectively had over 3,500 years of combined service. That's an average of 19 years, Damien, if you want to do the math. But they also recognized several associates with the Priscilla Russell Award. And that's actually an award that was created by the president and CEO of FLIK, Scott Davis, recognizing associates that truly serve as role models and have created a legacy for our organization. Very cool.
Okay, so you find them, you retain them, that's
Right.
great. So once you get them, let's talk about developing them and how you develop that talent and really work them into the business.
Yeah, so we've got a great training platform providing development opportunities for all associates. Probably too many to cover today, but let me touch on a couple. A management development training, which we call MIT. We break it into 3 buckets. Frontline, that's for the hourly associates, looking for opportunities to grow into management or leadership roles. College track, which I want to come back to because I think there's some interesting vignettes around that. And then also early career development. So those are the 3 buckets. Early career development is identifying college graduates 2 to 3 years in with the company that are ready for the next step. But the college track piece, FLIK has some unique relationships with some of the key hospitality schools around the country. Johnson & Wales is one of them up there in Providence. Once a year, and I think this is a really unique way of developing and engaging and even hiring. And once a year, we set up a dinner where we go up to Providence and we sit down. Our recruitment team's going first. They select 20 of the top students, and our executive team, my peers, come in and we sit down and we break bread. What better way to sit down and talk to prospective employees, associates of your company than to sit down in the environment that they're going to work in? And we sit there and we, for want of a better word, I guess, speed date during the appetizer, the entree, and the dessert. And at the end of that discussion, we walk away from there with 20 of the top students from that college, and they're hired and they're part of our company and ready to go. One other area I'd like to highlight would be the ADAPT program, which is, and we have acronyms for everything, but that's the Advanced Development and Planned Transition Program. And that's offering high potential managers the opportunity to develop into the next step in their career in multi-management. Similar to that program, Project Readiness, that's another program which further enhances the skill set for an associate already in a management role. I mean, listen, bottom line, happy associates equal happy guests. Happy associates given the opportunity to grow and develop their careers also stay with your company.
All right, so let's talk about some of your current goals for FLIK, specifically the conference centers and hotel division. I know that's what you're focused on.
Sure.
Give me some of the goals that they're focused on right now.
Sure, well, there's a number of objectives, but I think a couple of the ones I'd like to highlight would be health and wellness. Again, similar to technology and meetings and the blending together, I think nutrition really plays an important part in an effective meeting. And with that in mind, we've created something called MOVE meetings. Again, another acronym. MOVE stands for Motivate, Optimize, Vitalize, and Empower. So this trademarked program, which is exclusive to us, really focuses on the impact of nutritious meals and breaks with adequate hydration, coupled with the integration of light exercise into your meeting. So no more sugar crashes, no more snoring after lunch. The goal through proper use of nutrition and exercise with this program can really develop and deliver on a more productive and impactful meeting for our clients and our guests. And then again, I'll come back to technology. You can't really get too far away from it. With multiple generations in the workforce, the way people want to meet with regards to physical space and the manner in which the content's delivered, it's changing. The importance of technology, specifically the appropriate technology platform to support and enhance this shift, paramount. And then the introduction of waveguide into the FLIK family really excites me. And with regards to this topic, it really keeps us in front of this initiative and provides our clients with invaluable expertise at their fingertips.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, this is a great discussion. It's really, I want to bring it full circle, though, as we close. Talk about why people choose you, but let's first talk about your uniqueness. Coming kind of full circle, you manage the FLIK Conference Center and Hotel Division. What makes the division different?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go back. I'm going to start with people. I think it always starts with people, and we really have great people working for this organization that want to stay and grow and become part of the FLIK family. You know, happy associates, given the opportunity to grow and develop inside really a nurturing environment, combined with the opportunities of a global organization such as Compass, makes it a pretty neat place to work. I think the food and beverage philosophy and execution, the real foundation of the company overall. Going back to Rudy FLIK, who founded the company back in 1971, and fresh, seasonal, and authentic ingredients, expertly prepared and presented. Very simple, but it's really the foundation of where we are today. I think the service culture, and this is an important one. Service is really core to any successful hospitality environment. FLIK studied the best hotel companies in the world and developed our own unique and trademarked program called Platinum Service. That really differentiates us in the marketplace. It's now in its 14th year and has really become central to our culture. Actually positively impacting areas of our performance above and beyond great guest satisfaction and service. We believe there's a direct correlation between the Platinum Service program and retention and engagement with our associates, which are empowered. And then finally, expertise and the resources our clients and customers benefit from a global organization. Purchasing power, innovation, sustainability, very, very key.
So in preparing to talk to you, one of the things that really caught my attention as I was looking into what you guys do is your focus on sustainable and nourishable foods. So is that based on demand, or did you simply think that that was the right way to go, the right thing to do?
So that's a great question. Sustainability, sustainable purchasing and nourishing food choices have been fundamental to FLIK. Since our inception. It's not new. Our philosophy of cooking from scratch with a focus on seasonal ingredients really supports these practices. We continue to innovate our healthy offerings, to stay in tune with the changing health and wellness environment. We are also putting an increased focus on sustainability, to limit waste, utilize our resources more effectively. And when we do have leftovers, hey, make sure the food is being delivered to those who need it.
So the other thing I noticed when preparing for this was the culinary perfection of some of the stuff I saw. Talk to me about your culinary side of hospitality. How do you recruit your culinary experts, and what are some of the top dish innovations that your potential clients can look forward to?
Oh. Well, listen, FLIK's built on a quality food platform and food philosophy. As I said earlier, simply put, we were started by a chef. I think a couple of things that really make a difference here. I mean, we have 9 full-time corporate executive chefs to deliver on those quality food programs, not associated with any particular account. They're at a corporate level, and then there is additional resource for the field. So I think that makes a significant difference. I think there's always an eye towards the health and wellness. Foods to energize and keep people engaged in learning. Meeting environment is very important. I think the recruiting piece, the mentioning, talking about the partnerships that we have with some of the key culinary and hospitality schools, such as Johnson and Wales. And I think ultimately that food culture attracts top talent due to the emphasis on quality, innovation, and really creativity.
Well, Neil, I want to thank you again for talking to us. It's been a really fascinating discussion. And I think in closing, why do clients choose FLIK Hospitality?
Yeah, so I think our clients recognize that the services we provide are typically not their core business. And they want to focus on their efforts on what they do best, naturally. So they really trust us to manage their hospitality platform, their guest experience. And I think finally our guests tell us we do it better than anyone else, which I think is supported by the growth we're experiencing as we move towards 2018.
All right, that's going to do it for this week on Spotlight Television. We thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on Spotlight Television.